Thank you, Madam Kelch. Dear committee, my name is Jeff Hoverson. I'm a former North Dakota public school teacher. I taught in both Southwest and Northeast North Dakota. I'm now a Lutheran pastor. I'll never forget the day my wife got inspired by a homeschool family's kids in our town, and she told me she thought she'd do that. Naturally, I thought of my public teaching experience and could not imagine how she would do that. And this next part's a very important point. It wasn't until 2 years into doing it that what I could only imagine before, I now figured out. I had my kids on a conveyor belt. We all grew up with this, all of you in this room. You know, second grade, third grade, then fourth grade, and so on. The curriculum matches their level, along with the public school year, and along with the assignments, formal tests, and quizzes. From a friend, another homeschool friend, I learned about a Thomas Jefferson philosophy of teaching, which called on me to get them out of the bubble of the typical schooling system that I had taught in, and also off the conveyor belt. I was getting mediocre to good results that I would have been happy with as a teacher, but I was challenged by this Thomas Jefferson philosophy to focus on potential and not on minimums. For the sake of time, I started a little earlier. I'm right after the first paragraph. So how we measure and test had to completely change. Now, instead of teaching to test, we inspire to potential. It is a completely different approach of education, and I find it can really only be done at home and in the real world. A world that matches reality. I kid you not, my kids have begun to love learning. My boys get up at 6:30 on their own to do their math. They self-educate. This is what most colleges attempt to do. So what do? Well, rather than require for tests, which breeds mediocrity, we inspire with the advantages that we have, being their parents, providing a strong atmosphere for most of the day of parental influence, interacting with the real world and faith. Frankly, I'm blown away. Nothing could have prepared me to understand this until we actually did it. So regarding high-stakes testing, here's what I've come to realize in our family. Most, but not all, most tests, especially high-stakes tests, guarantee minimums and breed mediocrity. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Just quietly observe a kid who, when he's asked, hey, what'd you get on your test, which happens a lot in our extended family. And if they do well, ooh, there's an instant reward. However, the kid is now officially pigeonholed, and very often for the rest of their life in comparison to the other kids. The biggest motivation now is simply to be at the level compared to their peers. Now, in that situation, to inspire toward their potential is a lot of work for them and for the teacher. Why? Because they're still on a conveyor belt. Our country was founded by men and women who came to give the United States a reputation of exceptionalism. These people were made, not born. Jefferson and more. I test my kids every day, only it is through mentorship, because I'm committed to them for life. I don't get paid, and it's a lot easier. My kids are not driven by tests, they're inspired by learning. And this will be lifelong, and I will be with them. They won't graduate on a conveyor belt that says you're a 12th grader now and you've passed all the tests. No way. Not now that I've seen the difference as a public school teacher and now a homeschool dad. Please know that I understand for you if allowing someone like us to exempt from high-stakes testing is difficult. Trust me, I was there not that long ago. I have not always been a fan of homeschool. While North Dakota kids do test well compared to other states, let's be honest, that's only good news when the nation is improving, but we all know the nation is getting dumbed down really fast. It's just another curve. High-stakes testing is producing minimums of mediocrity right before our eyes. And I would say even for public school kids when I taught. With this bill, people can still choose to test if they want. Please allow us to lead by example to prove to you that producing lifelong learners is much better than testing on a conveyor belt that will stop when the kids are 17 or 18, only to never see many of them ever open a book again. The Indiana DPI I don't know if Wayne Sands is still here, but I think this is very encouraging for him, and I invite him as well. That guy supports homeschool. And even the reps go to the conventions to speak and thank them for educating for a better state. As North Dakotans, our goal should not be better schools. Ultimately, it should be better state, citizens, an exceptional state. Addressing the minimums and the cracks. Hey, if we want to raise the floor, you have to lift the ceiling. Thank you. And the bottom line is, they are our responsibility until we put them in the state's hands. Just the same way as none of you or I would want speed limit signs put in our driveway. But we're regulated once we get on to the public highway. Thank you. I'll take any questions.
Are there any questions for Jeff?